Hey, Gemini. Welcome to your weekly forecast for April 26th through May 2nd. We are coming into a very interesting time, my darlings. We've got a full moon in Scorpio, which happens to be a super moon on the 26th. So this is going to be really intense energy. It's magnified by the fact that it's a super moon. So gravitationally, it's going to have more pull to us because it's closer to the earth. Full moons in general can be emotional times, but then you've got now the Scorpio energy on top of it. So lots of intense energies, as well as a lot that's happening right now with the planets. And I go into that in detail in the podcast. So if you want tips and tricks and maneuvering through this energy, or if you would like more information about the current energy, you can definitely check out the podcast. But in this reading, we're going to see what's coming up for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising in the week of the full moon, as well as the coming weeks, because the energy that's coming in right now is going to be around with us for a while. So we're going to see what is coming up here for Gemini, Sun, Moon, and Rising. So your first card here is the Three of Swords. Now, don't freak out, Gemini, okay? Don't get upset. Don't get scared like, oh my gosh, something terrible is going to happen. We already know that we're coming into strong emotions right now. And we already know that the full moon tends to cause us to release or to feel emotional. And so with the Three of Swords coming up right off the bat, I feel like Spirit is trying to give you some reassurance that right now, everything that's happening, the energy is coming in to help Geminis get rid of any like feelings that they've been repressing or pushing down because it's been blocking them. Okay, so it's time to release so that we can make room for new experiences, happy emotions, positive experiences. The Three of Swords I also see comes up for people a lot of the time when there is a big blessing coming your way. However, Spirit has to show you before the blessing comes in who is not meant to partake in those blessings with you. Maybe you're a very generous person and you keep telling yourself, oh my gosh, when my big break comes in, I'm going to do this for this person and do this for that person. And maybe these people have not had your back. Maybe they haven't been very loyal friends or very loyal to you when you're not around. And so Spirit might be bringing that to the surface to let you know, hey, maybe don't be so generous with this person. Or if you're going to be generous with the person, at least know what you're getting into. So like truth being revealed, which is very, very aligned with Scorpio full moon energy. Scorpio full moon tends to bring the truth to light, right? True colors might be coming out. You might have secrets being revealed, or information that was being kept from you being revealed. And so this can lead to feeling of sadness, disappointment, maybe even feeling betrayed. But know and understand that this is happening for you as a protection. One more thing I want to say about the Three of Swords before I move on. The Three of Swords energy and the card makes me think of when I used to teach preschool back in the day, and the little babies would be running around the yard and one would fall and hurt their knee and they'd be screaming like it was the end of the world, right? And it was real pain. It was genuine pain. They were frightened by falling. They were in pain from the fall. It scared them. It hurt and they cried. But you give them a hug, you give them an ice pack or a band-aid, and less than 2 minutes later, they're running off again like nothing happened. They go back to pretending they're a superhero or a T-Rex or whatever, and they're good, like nothing even happened. And that's what I think of when I see the Three of Swords. It usually tends to be a very intense release, like a very intense emotional experience. But from what I've seen in the years reading for people, when this card comes up, it doesn't last very long. It's like you get it out of your system and then it's gone and you're bouncing back very quickly with the Three of Swords typically, right? So this is more of a release. You guys are really feeling the full moon energy in terms of releasing and just letting out the things you've been holding on to. Gemini, I feel some of you have been dealing with someone who's been very critical of you and pushing you very hard. and constantly making you try to, prove yourself, prove that you care, or prove that you're trying, or prove that you're taking something seriously. And I just feel something is happening around the full moon for some of you where you're just breaking down and sobbing in front of this person. And I feel like that's the end of the dynamic that they have over you. Like, I feel like this person is feeling very bad and feeling like, oh my gosh, I'm a monster. Like, I'm a terrible person. I'm a monster. I broke Gemini. Meanwhile, they didn't break you. Okay, they didn't break you. We know that they didn't break you. But I just kind of feel like everything you've been pushing down is coming to the surface. And I feel this person needs to see that. Like, they need to know that you have feelings, and they need to know that it's too much. It's too much. I feel for some of you, you're just kind of breaking down with somebody who's been very critical and very demanding. And I feel that the relationship is going to be shifting. And it could be a family dynamic, it doesn't have to be a romantic thing. But I feel like this person is realizing that they need to not just back off, but they're realizing that they haven't been behaving with you in an acceptable way, and that they need to go figure out why that is. They need to go get that taken care of. That's the feeling and the dynamic I'm feeling for some of you. The next card here is the Eight of Wands. And Eight of Wands is a card that comes up when delays are over. Things are moving forward very quickly. It could even be a moving on energy. So this really confirms the energy here where there might be an outpouring of emotion. There might be this outburst for some of you even, but then you're moving on and it's helping you to get unstuck. When we see Eight of Wands, things are moving very quickly. If there's blockages, they're not there anymore. Things are happening. The doors are opening, the energy is moving. So I feel with the Eight of Wands, for a lot of you Geminis, I don't know, I'm getting a sense or a feeling of like, I'm not leaving, but you can go kind of energy. So maybe in the past you've kind of withdrawn from situations. Maybe for some of you you're defending a space or a living arrangement. Maybe you've been thinking of moving because of issues or problems, and you're in this energy where you're like, nope, I'm not going to do that this time. Like, this is my home. I'm going to defend it. I'm going to stand up for myself. Or if it's a relationship situation, maybe you're being, maybe in the past you've been asked to leave, and you might be like, well, you know what? It's your turn to leave. It could be that kind of energy as well. So, um, what I want you to do, Gemini, is I want you to keep in mind right now, oh gosh, Pamela Gregory, Pam Gregory, did a really good video on explaining the planetary placements right now and how the energies are affecting people and how certain aggressions are going to be coming out. And I'm not going to word it as articulately as she did. I did cover it in the podcast when it was still fresh in my mind and when I was looking at my notes. But right now, my understanding is that Mercury is in Gemini, and there's other planetary things that are happening right now. And this is causing some aggression or very kind of heated discussions, or little things that are becoming like big fights or big arguments. And so it's a good time to choose our words wisely, and it's a good time to think before we speak, right? And being that you are, right, Gemini, you're in that Gemini energy, and Mercury is in the energy of Gemini. A lot of you maybe are feeling very moved, where you're like needing to express yourself. You're needing to get something off your chest. You're needing to speak your truth, right? And so Spirit is saying, do it, but think before you speak, because the energies right now are intense. Those of you who watch my videos, you know I'm not an astrology expert by any means, and I don't pretend to be. I really don't pretend to be. I'm just learning, like a lot of other people. I read the cards intuitively, but I do feel that right now there's a lot of very intense energy, and I think Pam Gregory is a great person to listen to, who breaks a lot of this down in understandable ways. So if you're wanting more astrology, you can definitely check her out. You can check out what I covered from my notes in my podcast, as well as the little tips and tricks I put in there that can kind of help navigate this kind of energy. Your next card here, Gemini, is the Knight of Swords. And this can be Gemini energy in that it is air sign energy. But this is that fast moving energy. And it can be conflict and it can be drama. And in this case, Gemini, I feel like this is confirming the energy that I was picking up. I kind of got ahead of the cards there. When I was talking about, I feel like you need to get something off your chest, but you're being told to think before you speak and to use your words wisely. And the reason for it is this. I feel like if you let yourself fly off the handle, and if you let yourself, say the things that you want to say, I feel it might backfire. Okay, I feel it might backfire. So, for example, if there was a divorce situation or something like that, this person might use what you said against you. Or they might go tell people, can you believe Gemini said this or said that? And so it might create more drama or conflict around you. I want you to speak your truth. I want you to stand up for yourself. But I don't want you to fall in a situation where you're so emotional that you fly off the handle and you say things that later on you're like, oh, I really wish I didn't say that. Okay. Um, I feel some of you also have a lot of anger that you're wanting to get out of you, right? So like I could see very potentially like throwing a glass and breaking it, or like punching the wall or something, even if you're not typically that way. Even if you're not typically someone that does things like that, because keep in mind, everything you've been pushing down is coming to the surface right now. So my advice to you, Gemini, is to do whatever you can to allow yourself to honor those feelings and to try to vent them out in a constructive way or in a safe way. Maybe if you can, if there's a gym open near you, I know there might not be for a lot of people because of the current circumstance, but if there's a gym or something open where you can go punch a punching bag or go punch some pillows or something, or scream into a pillow, or let yourself have a good cry. I think it's a really good idea to try to get those feelings out so that when it comes to the moment of speaking your truth, you can speak your truth articulately and calmly and effectively and clearly, without somebody being able to come back later and say, oh, well, you have a terrible temper, and oh, well, you're too emotional, and you're not stable. And then what you're trying to say gets lost because the emotions were so intense, right? And I want you to feel as though you were heard. Okay, and I think you want that too. So try to get those feelings out of your system so that when you do have this conversation, they can't say that you came, charging in like a bully, or that you overreacted, or that you were too emotional or unstable or something like that. Your next card here, my dears, is the Knight of Cups. And the Knight of Cups gets kind of a bad rap here. Okay? Because the Knight of Cups, I know a lot of people are used to watching tarot readings around love and romance. And if you're new to my channel, in the weekly forecasts, I focus on everything other than love and romance. And I do a monthly love reading. Okay, so I try to look at the cards other than love and romance. And a lot of people in love readings will see the Knight of Cups and they're like, oh, this person's a player. This person's a womanizer. And that can be one of the meanings of the Knight of Cups. I don't dispute that at all. That is traditionally one of the meanings of the card. But I have to stress here, one of the meanings. Okay, the cards have many layers. They're not just cut and dry like that. And so one of the meanings here of the Knight of Cups can be pursuing creativity, pursuing that which inspires you, pursuing that which gives you a sense of beauty and joy and adventure in your life. Okay. It can be reaching to obtain something that you're seeing very high caliber, right? And in that conquest, you're finding a sense of joy, a sense of I hate to say validation because that sounds kind of negative. I don't want you to feel like you need to be validated, but that can be an energy that sometimes comes up with the Knight of Cups. And so some of you are finding yourself that after you kind of go off or you set this boundary, whether it's a work situation or a relationship or a family situation, you might find that now all of a sudden somebody is stroking your ego and putting you up on a pedestal. Okay. I feel though that you're choosing to pursue that which makes your heart happy. You're learning to listen to your heart, but you're doing it in a way that is healthy and that is bringing you joy. Okay. And like you're focusing on uh the solution. You're focusing on what makes you happy instead of focusing on the pain. The pain already is coming to the surface here with the Three of Swords that you're releasing, and then you're like, okay, how can I soothe it? How can I make it feel better? How can I heal it? What is going to be the right medicine for me here? And so it's coming through your creative pursuits. I think this is especially true for those of you that do some kind of very technical work or a very routine work, right? You're finding healing through artistic expression and seeking out music and movies and entertainment and art that gives you a sense of inspiration, that brings beauty into your life. Your next card here, my dears, is the King of Swords, and I love it. This is beautiful air sign energy, and this is good decision making, and this is the kind of decision making that we're able to set our emotions aside and think logically. So again, I got a little ahead of the cards with the energy when I was explaining what I was feeling around the energy, and the King of Swords is very much that person who's going to stand up and speak and come up with a solution and do what's going to be what makes the most sense and what is going to be the best possible scenario, and not let emotions cloud the judgment or let emotions get in the way. The King of Swords is also the master of negotiation. Okay, so I feel like some of you are finding a way to uh, get what you want from a situation or part ways. And if you're parting ways, you're finding a way to part ways peacefully, fairly, and getting what is owed to you. Okay, so this could be standing up for yourself to get a security deposit that a landlord wants to fight you on, or say that they're withholding. You might kind of stand up for yourself and show receipts and pictures and facts to where they're like, oh, okay, all right, I guess I have to hand this over. Or if it's a work situation, right? Being able to defend your work, being able to prove your case. If it's a relationship, okay, it can be, this is what I need from the relationship. This is how I need you to step up. And if you don't, well, then if we're going to part ways, this is how we're going to do it in a peaceful kind of way. There could be a going over finances for some of you. I do feel that for some of you, a marriage is coming to an end. If that's the case, you've already known this for a while. It's not going to come to you as a complete and total surprise. I'm not talking about if you're a Gemini who's married and things have been, okay or so, or good. I feel those of you that the marriage is ending, like it's been on the rocks for a while. And you all may have broken up and gotten back together a few times already. But I feel in this instance, you're approaching it as like, okay, you know, I don't want to do this anymore. And this is how we're going to part ways. And so I feel those of you where a marriage is coming to an end, you're able to discuss things in a way where you're able to come up with an agreement between the two of you so that you don't have to go through like a nasty legal battle, or you don't have to go hire lawyers or attorneys. You might consult with an attorney, but I feel like you're able to get this taken care of without some kind of trial or a long drawn out court case or situation. That's not going to be for every single one of you. Okay, but for some of you, I am feeling that energy. You may want to watch your moon sign and rising sign videos because some weeks those are going to resonate with you more than others. You may want to check out the podcast that I was mentioning. I'm also going to be doing a full moon meditation at the time of the full moon, which is 8:31 p.m. Pacific time, 11:31 East Coast time, and I think it's like 7 a.m. or something in the UK on the 27th. But whatever time the full moon is in your time zone, I'm gonna be doing it in the time zone of the full moon where I'm at. So, you can check that out. I'm gonna do a little grounding, clearing, releasing meditation that I think might be helpful for a lot of people. If you would like a private reading, be sure to go to calendly.com/amethystangelite and schedule a private reading with me there. I will also have that linked in the description of the video. I thank you all for watching, liking, sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Bye, my darlings.